Something that's really helped me is like either like throwing ice or like using like a damn it doll. So it's like a sewn doll where you can just like, damn it.
We're meant to feel everything. Like humans are meant to feel all these emotions, good or bad, wrong or right, because there is no wrong or right really. There's just who we are. It's what makes us human.
That's when you should tell someone, hey, I'm not doing so well, even though it's like really small. Even if it's super small, the people who love you and the people who care about you will, they don't ever see it too small.
For me, with anxiety, like I think of that as like the worst of like all of my emotions. But now that I think I'm taking more power over that, my anxiety can be my power.
I'm gonna make my parents watch this, and they're not gonna like this part.
This is the true story of teens.
Brave enough to drop the mask
and get real about mental health.
Teens struggle more than we see, and a voice carries the power of change.
Life as a teen can be hard, and sharing really helps.
You're listening to Teen Voices on The Endurance Show,
a space where teens share real struggles, real stories, and real growth. Real teens, real talk,
no scripts,
and no filters.
This is Teen Voices.
This is Teen Voices.
This is Teen Voices.
Schmowdy everyone, this is emotional expression and expanding vocabulary. This is Teen Voices on the Endurance Podcast. Thanks for listening and or watching. How do you deal with anger or strong emotions or strong feelings, and can you give me an example?
Well, I deal with my emotions by trying to like get them out in some way now. It used to be like avoiding a lot of the time, like going on social media, watching TV or reading, which is a better form of avoiding, but that was still a lot of the purpose of my reading. Now I write to let it out, I'd say, which really helps me like process my emotions. And I feel like I think a lot clearer once I've given myself time and space if I'm like angry or like very upset about something before just reacting, because that could cause the most like damage and hurt.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm gonna add on to that. I literally picked up writing as like a really like good way to vent emotions out. Also last week, I literally just like started writing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like holy crap, like this is amazing. And I never really like written like, you know, unless like it was against my will in school or something. So totally agree with that.
Absolutely. For me, like I deal with anger personally by bottling it up. I've definitely been working on like expressing it more rather than like keeping it down, because of like your emotions like are trying to tell you something, and they will keep coming up if you try to avoid them. Something that's really helped me is like either like throwing ice or like using like a damn it doll. I think those are like so funny. It just makes me laugh like when I'm really upset. So it's basically, it's like a sewn doll.
A damn it doll?
It's called a damn it doll. So it's like a sewn doll where you can just like whack it somewhere, and then like you could just say like damn it. It's literally the best thing I've ever had. It's amazing. Yeah.
So how do I deal with my anger? I'm joking.
I use a damn it doll. Just punch the. No, I'm joking.
This is supposed to be a light question, but I have a very heavy response. Hope that's okay. Ooh. So I'm gonna make my parents watch this, and they're not gonna like this part. I bought a motorcycle, and I used to take out my anger by going extreme speeds on the roads, and I endangered my life and other people's lives because I can control my emotions, and I don't do that anymore, and I haven't in a while, and I will never do that again. And I did that because the adrenaline rush would take away the emotions. And I also used to, in like middle school, I would kind of just like have like violent outbursts. So there are a few dented doors in my house, who shall not be named. So yeah, I'll talk to people and I'll be honest. I'm like, I am so frustrated right now. I'm so angry, like that. And like it's like it's kind of cringe, but like it works. That's kind of the best thing I can think of right now.
Yeah. Totally.
Do you ever feel pressure to hide your emotions, and how do you respond?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people struggling with hiding emotions, um, and like bottling them up because either they've had their emotions rejected, or their emotions haven't been welcomed, or maybe certain feelings are welcomed but others aren't. Um, I think how I respond to it, since I like grew up hiding a lot of my emotions just because there wasn't space for mine. Um, Now I like to either write it out in a journal or um just like vent about it. Sometimes I like to record myself venting. And like as if I'm talking to somebody but they don't respond, which is really helpful. Or just like blast music in the car. Um yeah. Yeah.
Um, there's all sorts of pressure to hide your emotions, like especially if you're upset over something that other people deem as like not enough to be upset
Mhm.
about. And you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
this thing is like so small. Why am I
Yeah.
so like overwhelmed and overworked about it?
Totally.
I have to hide my emotions so that people don't get upset with me for feeling this unjustified reaction.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
whatever you're feeling is justified. It is your own truth, your own reality. And I think like facing your emotions is helpful. Like having
Yeah.
a good cry, like being up your damn it doll.
Yep.
Yeah.
Had to reset a few times. So.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh. Yeah. Like
That's the
letting
point, damn it.
out your emotions. Like we're meant to feel everything. Like humans are meant to
Exactly.
feel
Yep.
all these emotions, good or bad, wrong or right, because there is no wrong or right really. There's just who we are. It's what makes us human,
Mhm.
actually. So instead of like not like allowing people to feel how they feel,
Yeah.
like every emotion you have is legitimate. It is your own story, and don't let other people tell you otherwise.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would hide a lot of my emotions, and recently, just kind of all the time, every day. I mentioned this in the previous episode. I was talking about shame. I talked to someone. I talked to a therapist at my school. Well, technically, they were a social worker, but they did more social stuff instead of like academic stuff. And a lot of people talked to them, and she was amazing. I love her. She's awesome. She told me, like, I told her a bunch of stuff about how I kind of live, and she gave me this term. She said I'm prone to shame, and that means like you're easily like something bad can happen, and it's super easy for me specifically to feel like it's all my fault, like I'm a terrible person. It's very easy for me to fall into that trap, and I'm like, holy crap, you are so right. Thank you, lady, for speaking wisdom into my life. Like that's so true. I didn't think about that. So prone to shame, that's the term.
Yeah.
I hide my shame a lot. I don't talk about that. I have struggled with self-harm in the past, and I feel like maybe this is like stupid to say. I feel like it's like kind of insignificant because I didn't do it every day for like years, like a few people have experienced it with, but it's definitely taking a toll. And like you cover up, you don't wear like t-shirts, you wear long sleeves and stuff like that. So I have a long history of covering up shame, whether it's that or whether it's like, no, I don't think I'm a horrible person every single day. I don't wake up and look in the mirror and go, who the heck is this person? This person disgusts me. So I hide that a lot.
In like a different way, like sometimes like I have very defensive reactions when someone like says something like against me, like involuntarily, like I'll say something back and they'll be like, it wasn't that big of a deal. And then it just puts me in this like horrible situation where I have like it just makes me more upset, and it makes me like want to like cry, and then you're like holding back your tears, and they're like, what? And then you can't say anything because if you say something you're gonna start crying, and then they're just
know,
going
that's
to
like-
make
It's very,
Yeah, I
it's
know
very
that's like- I
know it's like-
validating,
literally.
like when
Mhm.
people say that, because everyone reacts differently to different things.
Mhm.
You really can't judge someone on how
Yeah.
they react.
Mhm.
Yeah. And also touching on what you said, I think a lot of people feel invalid when it comes to their mental illnesses and think that it's like not
Yeah.
enough to get help because it's not at the extreme. But the thing is, we want to stop it from getting to the extreme. And the way it starts is small. It always starts small. And it's still incredibly valid, even if it is at like a very low form of whatever mental illness or whatever maladaptive behavior you're using, but it is still harmful and still important to get help for.
Can I bring up an analogy that I just came
Yes.
up with?
Yeah.
So I didn't come up with this, but I kind of did like steal it from somewhere. So imagine like your mental health is a boulder and it's rolling down an increasingly steep hill. Okay. I think I've always felt like until the boulder is literally like way down here, like imagine, okay, this is the boulder. Okay. And it's like I feel like this is where I should tell someone, but like this
At the
is like
bottom.
the boulder even like slightly nudging. That's where you should even tell someone. That's where you begin, because
Yes.
otherwise it's going to spiral down and be a terrible problem. And I feel like I've never thought of my struggles as valid enough to talk to someone unless it's so bad that you can physically see it, you know, and or you can or I'm like bawling my eyes out or something. And but I feel like we should have these support systems. We should have these support networks and people who care about us. Like, we are humans. We have this, I feel like society tells us this lie of like, you're supposed to depend on yourself for everything. And it's kind of a pride thing. It's like, look at me, like I did that, you know, and
Totally.
I have the same thing. Like, I'm trying to like pay for my entire college. But like we were all born in a system where that's pretty much impossible unless you work your butt off like crazy, which that's admirable, but like it can also be unhealthy. And so, you know, and like I've kind of shamed myself. I'm like, how, like, you're so, like, I've told myself you're so disgusting for not being able to like pay for all your college, which like in turn, thinking about that logically now, that doesn't really make any sense. Like, why would I like think like that? That makes, you know. And so anyway, and so I'll go down these rabbit holes of like financial logistics of like how I'm going to pay off everything. And so I kind of forgot where I was going with this, but the point is like the boulder moving at all, even just like shaking, like that's when you should tell someone, hey, I'm not doing so well, even though it's like really small. Even if it's super small, the people who love you and the people who care about you will, they don't ever see it too small. Too small doesn't exist for people who genuinely care about you.
Yeah.
And you know what? The fact is, some people don't actually, like, I feel like we're always saying like, you'll eventually find that person. The fact is, some people don't have that kind of person in their life right now. I think I do. It's really hard to recognize that I do because I don't want to open up sometimes. But there have been times where I haven't had anyone. And there are people in the world probably listening right now who don't have anyone. And it's okay. But there are other ways of dealing with that, like writing and, you know, and journaling and like recording yourself or having a damn it doll or whatever, however you say it. I don't even know.
Damn it, ball.
But the point is, a little bit is already too much. And that's when you should tell someone. And like, your struggles are valid from their start, not just from when they start to look bad, because that's too subjective. And you could say look bad is you literally in the hospital.
Yep.
What words do you use to describe emotions beyond good or bad, and how do they help you understand yourself?
Another big thing that I've also learned in therapy, this is kind of like a little plug-in for like this one app that I love using.
Sponsor.
No, it's not. I honestly like love it. It's called How We Feel, and basically it asks you like a check-in maybe once or twice a day. It depends on like when you want to check in about your emotions. It asks if the feeling is high energy or low energy, and if it's pleasant and unpleasant. So it's neither good or bad. It's not
That's
judgmental.
cool.
It's just based on how you feel in your body at that moment. And they can be many different things, a wide variety. And truly, like, it really helps me like really feel what my emotions, like how they show up for me in my body. And they also have like a little like scanner where you can be like, oh, like my chest feels heavy or tight, like when I'm anxious. And then that way I can like really tune in and know like how I'm feeling, and where it shows up for me. Yeah. And I think all emotions are valuable. They all give you information, so neither of them are bad or good.
I just want to say like why it's so important to not assign like good or bad to emotions, because everything you have is like, it's real. Like, we're meant to feel like not always great and positive
Yeah.
sometimes. It's just how we work through that and what strategies we employ to like help us, like what strategies are actually benefiting us, what actually makes it better and what worsens the problem or creates a new problem. Like with your like motorcycle thing, like obviously that's like creating a new problem. Like
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like very like strong that you've like come past that now.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And-
honestly an addiction. I'm not gonna lie. Speed addiction.
Adrenaline addiction.
Yeah. And then like confronting your feelings, like writing, poetry, art, whatever speaks to you, whatever allows you to like feel that, or maybe just like talking honestly about it and vulnerably, or like taking some space and like being in your head about it, like
Yeah.
I mean out of your head about it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, because all emotions, we have like a different relationship with different like emotions in our
Yeah.
life. Like for me with anxiety, like I think of that as like the worst of like all of my emotions because it's
Yeah.
caused me like to have all of these different struggles and all these different problems.
Yeah.
But now that I think I'm taking more power over that, maybe like my anxiety can be my power. Like maybe like overthinking stuff helps me like do more, helps me be more prepared, helps me know when I really care about something in some like flawed form of like how much I like really value stuff like before a race. Like I'm feeling all this anxiety because I care about how I do. I care about how much work I've put into it and I want to see a good result.
Yeah.
I did not think of it like that. That's cool.
Like your emotions aren't bad. They're trying to help you in a misguided way.
Yeah.
I think just being non-judgmental for how you feel is really, really important. Because like on top of maybe like a heavy feeling like guilt or shame, adding on top of it like, oh, I feel so bad for having this feeling, that even like adds more. It's like my therapist says like it's adding shit on top of a shit cake. Which is not helpful.
That's not funny.
Which is not helpful. Yeah, definitely going about it with no judgment is super important.
I like what you said about like there's no such thing as a good or bad emotion. And if you, because literally the definition of labeling something as good or bad is like accepting it or not. In any case that you're not accepting it, like, which would be, I guess, any bad case, like that's just like you should never not accept your emotions because then you're gonna screw yourself over and go into like a spiral. If you don't accept your emotions, you can't deal with them because you're not even willing to accept that they're there. You're not willing to accept that they're actually happening to you. So how can you deal with something that you refuse to accept exists?
Yeah. Also, I think emotions really help you understand what you need. I think a lot of people misinterpret anger as a bad emotion when really it's there to help you and to say, hey, like this doesn't feel right to me or this doesn't feel fair to me. Like mainly anger, it's a secondary emotion. So it's really telling you something else. It's a protective factor. It's trying to hide either sadness, guilt, betrayal, anxiety. And it really is just trying to protect you. So being non-judgmental to your emotions is super important because they are really just trying to tell you something. Like obviously if you feel happy, then things are going well. If you're feeling sad, then maybe there's room for change and room to grow from whatever you're working through.
I did not think about it that way.
The thing that comes to mind like right now is just like Inside Out, like I think the most like
Yes.
recent
No,
one or
I thought of that
something.
too. I thought of that
There's
too.
like the bottle and then the emotions like went into that. And
Yes.
it's like bottling up your emotions. Like it
Was
like
that Inside Out too?
I think so.
Oh, don't
Yeah, I
spoil
think
it.
so.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I need to watch it too, but I've heard so
Oh.
many great things about it.
It's actually good. I like it. That is just such a good representation of what people like feel the need to do. Like some of anxiety is like I bottle up my emotions, I don't face them, and then they take control. I don't get to have the control over my emotions. And making like a relationship with every different emotion that you have is important because like obviously we love to feel good, we love to feel happy.
Exactly.
But sometimes like you learn the most about yourself and about a person with when you deal with your like harsher emotions, like emotions that steer you in more negative ways.
Deeper insight. What small habits help you reset and how have they worked for you?
There are many different skills that help me like ground myself, and they're very small but super helpful. I think using the 5 4 3 2 1 technique is incredibly helpful for me because it really brings you back to the present moment. Yeah, I think doing tip skills, which is temperature, intense exercise, pace breathing, and progressive muscle relaxation, is incredibly helpful as well because it all those things really like bring you into your body and recognizing how you feel in that moment, rather than spinning off and spiraling off in your mind with thoughts. So those have been definitely like small things that help me a lot. You can do it like literally anywhere. Like I usually do them out in public or at home. And they've really helped like calm me down and bring me back to where I need to be.
Mhm. Like the muscle like tensing and relaxing.
Yes.
I learned that in like yoga in middle school,
It's
and
so
I always use
nice.
that when I'm like thinking about too much, like before I go to
Yep.
sleep,
Yeah.
which I think is a lot of the reason for my sleep procrastination, I would say, is because like before I go to bed, every worry that I have like comes crashing down. It all comes at once. And then I just like I lose control of my breathing. I can't focus. So I try to like push off getting into that state where I have to face myself for as long
Yeah.
as possible during the day. But so I can physically like exhaust my mind out enough that I can just go to bed.
Totally.
And then that muscle like tensing, relaxing, it helps like physically like relieve your stress. And also for me, like when I'm overthinking something, just like I ground myself by like I'll like stroke like my leg like with my finger or something like in class, or like I'll hold on to like my like desk or something like that, like just to feel like there's something else like out there and feel like something greater than me, and like
Yeah.
reassure myself as well. I think is very helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's incredibly important.
Ooh, okay. What's one emotion? Okay. What's one emotion you wish people understood better and how would you explain it?
Like when I had an attempt, it really put my sister and my aunt in like a bad headspace where they were like, "Oh, it's my fault because I left you." Because at the time, like I was taking care of my mom in Colorado, and I was like, you know what, I got this. Like I'll be fine on my own, and it was completely my choice. And I do not blame anybody. And it is no one's fault, and I know that blame was placed on different people, and that like made me feel so terrible because it was no one's fault but mine, and it was like my decision.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thank you for listening
Thanks.
or watching. We really appreciate you.
So much appreciate.
That sounded sarcastic. I meant it.
Thank you for listening to The Endurance Show. If this conversation moved you, please follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. To view the conversations, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And to be a part of the community, follow us at Endurance Movement. And lastly, if you feel called to support the movement and help us ensure no teen ever feels alone again, visit endurancemovement.org to learn more, and if you can, make a donation. Together we can create lasting change, one conversation, one connection at a time.